And apparently, from the mail that she has received, these people got to know Ray pretty good, passing through airports and doing business together. And some of them sent us some letters, and Joy just wanted me to touch on one or two of them. This is from Clive. Dear Joy, unfortunately, I shall not be able to attend Ray's celebration of life party, as I shall be traveling in his old stomping grounds, the Far East. And the word far there, it just doesn't do it justice. I mean, this is the Far East. Although I will not be present in body, I most certainly will be in spirit. A few memorable Rayism moments. We were in Maracaibo, Venezuela. The hotel did not have any clothes hangers in the rooms. Ray delves into one of his 2 suitcases, the second of which lived at the hotel and is most likely still there, and produces a bag of hooks attached to suction cups on which to hang clothes. These hooks were then installed and scattered around the room, behind doors, on mirrors, windows, any surface that would support them. His room looked a mess, but his clothes were wrinkle-free. In St. John's, Canada, we were at a restaurant having dinner with a client on a rickety old table with a loose leg. A little bag is pulled from Ray's trouser pocket, and out comes a small screwdriver with which he proceeds to tighten the leg. Unfortunately, with a now secure leg, the table begins to rock. Again, the little bag appears on the table, and a small wooden wedge is extracted and placed under the table leg. Dinner then proceeded in an orderly manner, and the wedge was retrieved, and we departed. These are just 2 of the many Rayisms I was privileged to witness during our various travels that we had. And I always vowed that if I were ever stranded on a deserted island, Ray would be my first choice as a guest. Because I am quite sure he would be able to reach into that bag and pull out a boat that would get us back to civilization. God bless Clive. This one from Norman Bruce Moore, the Vice President of Ray's company. Dear Joy, we are sorry that you have lost your husband and the father of your children. No words from me can ever touch the depths of your loss. I chose to remember Ray not as he was at our Christmas party, but as the rascal that loved a joke. One of my favorite stories about Ray occurred shortly after joining WWT when I got an early morning call. Ray was on Hunan Island in the South China Sea. It's about this big. He asked me to urgently arrange sending cash to him. When I asked why, he said he had left his personal things in the hotel to visit the rig. When he returned after several days, the hotel had arbitrarily decided to rent the room and had thrown out all his belongings. All his personal items had been stolen. He was left with only the clothes on his back and what little cash he had in his wallet. He said that because he had almost no money, his only option was to rent a rickshaw and have a Chinese man pull him around all night in the pouring rain, where he tried to get some shut-eye. It was cheaper, apparently, than a hotel room. He stated that he would have to live on a bowl of rice per day until the cash got to him. I urgently arranged with Pam to wire him the money that day. About a year later, Ray was telling me of another trip that was filled with trials and inconvenience and danger. I said, well, at least that wasn't as bad as the night you spent in the rickshaw in the pouring rain on Hounan Island. And Ray said, what are you talking about? So I gave him the whole story, and Ray said, I just make that stuff up. Then Ray put on that rascal smile and said, sounds like something I would say. That's how I will remember Ray. I apologize that my wife and I cannot attend the memorial service for Ray because of family commitments. Several WWT co-workers will be at the memorial.
They're right over there.
They're right over there. God bless you. May God bless you and your family. You and Ray are in my prayers. And one more. And by the way, let me just say on a personal note to the oil and gas people in the room, thank you for your service to this country. You see what it's 177 degrees outside. It's a nice cool 68 degrees in here. Thanks to you. And we appreciate that. Dear Joy, we have not met. And by the way, there were dozens of these, weren't there, Joy? People that Joy had never met. Dear Joy, we have not met. But please kindly accept our deepest condolences on the passing of your beloved husband, Ray. Ray was a frequent visitor to Brunei, where our company is based, whilst he worked for WWT through Richard Ironside. Ray always had a warm smile and a positive vibe about him that was very contagious. No matter how bad the day was, Ray arriving at our office for business always brightened things up. I've had many business lunches and dinners with Ray in Brunei over the years. Whilst it mostly centered about projects, difficult clients, politics, etc. He frequently spoke about his wonderful wife and always looked forward to going home. He was a true gentleman. His great attitude, integrity, and hard work ethic will definitely leave our oil and gas industry much poorer. Though I am deeply saddened and can only imagine the pain you are feeling, I know he is at peace with his Maker. Heaven has welcomed home a true angel, and he is now basking in the grace, the mercy, and the glory of the Lord. I am honored to have had the opportunity to work with such a fine gentleman and count him as a true friend and valued colleague. Wish you all the best for the future, and I know Ray is smiling on all of us with his infectious, broad smile right now. He's with us in spirit. Take care, and God bless you, Dr. John Chariot, General Manager, Shinba Integrated Engineering Services in Brunei. This is the kind of letters, the kind of notes that Joy has received these past several weeks. Now, there's one other thing that I tried to get to everybody. I don't think I did. And if you think you're going to a Joy Medici organized affair and not hear about politics, well, you're in the wrong place. California, in their wisdom, has decided to have these, what they call guerrilla primaries now. And so the two candidates for the United States Senate in California, both extremely liberal Democrats. And that's, it's our fault. This is the law they passed. So we just thought, as we were sitting together one night, it might be a nice homage to our brother Ray. I used to call him, I would introduce him, because there was always politicians in the room, and I would say, this is Jeff Stone for Congress and Glenn Miller. And I would say, and Ray Medicki, a candidate for the United States Senate. We'd like to wave. And so we thought, you know, what a nice touch it would be as a final homage to our brother Ray if we wrote him in for the United States Senate in California. So we have some stickers to that effect. Write in Ray Medicki, M-I-E-D-E-C-K-E, just in case. And I can't wait, you know, to see, to hear Gene Nichols do the news the day after Election Day. And say, you know, Donald Trump was elected president. Ray Medicki got 10,000 votes for the United States Senate. I looked up the term mourn today. Webster's dictionary says to mourn is to feel, to express sorrow or grief. As I normally do when I travel through the dictionary. I get a definition and I have to look up another word. So I looked up grief. Definition for grief is deep sorrow caused by someone's death. So good morning, good afternoon now, dear friends. It's an honor for me today, at the request of my dear sisters, Joy and Heidi Medicki, to call us together this afternoon as we reflect on the life and times of our dear brother, Ray Medicki. In fact, it's an honor just to be known as a friend of Ray. Ray Medicki was a good and decent man, taken from us too soon. Worked his butt off his whole life to provide for his beautiful wife and children. Such a sweet soul. And to be taken so soon. At his untimely passing, we mourn. And we grieve. And we should. I know you often hear today that at someone's passing, we in the modern world, we shy away from the terms mourn and grieve. We say things like, as we are today, we're here for a celebration of life. And that's good. That's okay. But don't forget to mourn Ray's passing. Do not judge too harshly, we that mourn and grieve for a good man, a dear husband, a kind and considerate father, and a wonderful friend to so many of us here today. Ray was here today, gone tomorrow. Just like that. He was special though. Personally, I loved his sense of humor. He loved a good joke, and even better, a prank has been well documented already today. And even when this disease that he contracted, even when this disease took his beautiful voice and racked his body, when he laughed, his whole countenance would shake. across the table. Our dear friend Joy. We love you. So many of us have struggled and have never found that rare golden nugget that is true love. True love. 49 years. Write the book. Hold your head high today. Because you and Ray found that golden nugget of true love. What an example. You too were for all of us. As most of you know, Ray traveled, and I mean Ray traveled. Traveled a lot all around the world. Again, check out the map out there, you won't believe it. Now, Joy wasn't waiting on the couch eating bonbons. Pardon me. She wasn't waiting on the couch shoving coconut bonbons while Ray was out on the job. No. She started a business. Several. Most of the time to Ray's surprise. When he came home after a long journey. What's that, honey? Ray, that's the business we started while you were gone. Oh, okay. She once picked him up from the airport and brought him to his new house. Where are we? He said. In your new driveway. She said. Okay. Now, in these crazy times, businesses come, businesses go. They rise, and they fall. They succeed, and they fail. And when living through that process, when others may have given up, Ray, Joy, Heidi, they never gave up. Didn't put their hands in the sand, heads in the sand, no. They got involved in their community. They became even more active in politics. Because Ray Medicke, Joy Medicke, and Heidi Medicke are patriots. They love their country. Ray loved America. He traveled the world. You notice he didn't take him to Brunei. He certainly didn't take him to Hunan Island in the China Sea. He knew, because of that experience, that America, despite its faults, despite its failures, is the closest thing to paradise we'll ever see on this earth. Ray was a serious rock and roller. A trait that he passed on to his baby girl. The greatest person to go see a rock and roll concert with you'll ever meet in your life. Heidi Medicke is a notorious stage diver. I've been to 4 or 5 shows with her. I never leave without a pick from the guitar player. I don't know how she does it. I don't know. We had the great opportunity to see Jackson Browne from the front row. And I said to her, I said, okay, I want the set list. Set list, if you don't know, is the artist's handwriting as he writes the songs down that he's going to sing that night. I said, I want the set list, Heidi. And she said, well, go to the bathroom. I'll meet you outside, and I'll see what I can do. I And this is Ray Medici trained. So I go, okay. I go outside, hanging out. She comes walking out. Set list. It's hanging in my room right now. Ray Medici, he loved music. And so the family is very grateful to have Eric and Lisa Lynn Morgan played for us today. Lisa, Ray would have loved to hear your music today. Joy, as I said, has been inundated with these emails. She has a binder full. It's breathtaking how one man can touch so many people in so many disparate parts of this planet. It's breathtaking. Now, you can't ask an evangelist to speak at a ceremony like this without talking a little bit about death itself. We're not getting any younger. Talk to a woman who's here today who has to leave here and go to another service immediately after this. Do you fear death? At moments like this, we are reminded, are we not, that Ray's journey from life to death to life again is our journey. Or as Ray said to me once, quote The Doors, "No one gets out alive." Once when we were alone, I asked Ray, have you accepted the free gift of eternal life from Jesus? And Ray just nodded his head. Yeah. Now what does that mean, you might ask? The Bible in the book of Hebrews, we learn, starting in verse 14, the writer writes, "Since the children, that's us. Since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death. That is the devil. And listen to me now. Free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death." That's the good news. Death has no power over those who already live with an eternal perspective. And so, when we hear the words of Patty Griffin, she says, "How will we smile ever again?" I'm asking you sincerely, my dear old friend, what do you say? Is there a way? My dear old friend, how will we laugh just like before? When there's water rising up to the door, and we may never see each other again. My dear old friend, will there be someone to remember? A little place that we loved, and how the music played all night and day through the windows up above. How the birds sang in the morning. How the dogs barked in the yard. I guess that's nothing much, but everything to us. And that's what seems so hard. How will we smile ever again? asking you sincerely, my dear old friend. The moon on the hill says we probably will, my dear old friend. We will smile again. We will laugh again. Because we have peace. Not just any peace. A special peace. The peace of Jesus Christ. The peace that passes all understanding. Now you can read those words a million times, but you'll never really understand until your husband dies, or your child dies, or your wife, or your friend. But we feel his peace, his amazing peace, his peace that passes all understanding. And so today, we gather, family, friends. In fact, watching Heidi and her friends, it's a family of friends. And in the Southern California style, we say, vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Go with God. Now to say a few words is Barbara Parshon. Barbara.
Our friend Ray was many things to many people. He was a family man, a caring man, and a very good friend. He had such a wonderful sense of humor, a warm smile, and a witty personality. He would always make us laugh. As you have seen, as all of you have seen, Ray was also a gadget man, a little trinket man. Every time he would go on a trip, he would bring home little trinkets, lasers, scalp brushes, table wedges, and many more. The funny part was they were always very useful. If you were in a restaurant and the table was wobbly, there was Ray reaching into his little man bag, and presto, there was a table wedge. Needless to say, no more wobbly table. Warren and I have been friends and like family with Ray and Joy for 38 years. We met through our children who went to school together. We did so many fun things, family vacations, weekend trips, and almost every Saturday night we went out to dinner and the movies. When Ray and Joy decided to move to the desert, our fun didn't end there. We also had a home in the desert, and we also had a home in the desert, so we got together very often and spent weekends together, either at their home or ours. Most of the time, it would be from going to breakfast in the morning, doing something during the day, and then going to dinner and the movies. We always seemed to pack every minute in the day. As Ray's illness progressed, we still spent our weekends having barbecues and watching movies on the TV. We will miss all those fun times together. We will all miss Ray, but we know he is in heaven looking down and smiling on all of us. He is telling us everything will be okay. He is healthy, with no more suffering. Only God knows why he had this horrible disease. He left behind so many warm memories, wonderful friends, and a very loving family. Ray will be deeply missed by us and will forever be in our hearts. We love you, Ray. May you rest in peace.
Now we'll hear from Warren Parshon.
Hello, everyone. It's going to be hard to follow my wife and Rich. This guy's unbelievable. Great. Well, this is more of some of the same, because Ray has had so many things that he did for everybody. But this is my version of it anyway. My buddy Ray. You know, in life, we all have many acquaintances, people you work with, socialize with, and some you just hope you remember their names. We also have a number of friends that we might go to dinner with or see on a monthly basis at church or at functions. But it's a very select few that we can call a true friend or a buddy. In my life, I have my wife, Barb, my parents, when they were alive, my children, and of course my grandchildren. I call all of them buddies. But most of us are fortunate to have a couple true friends we call our buddy. My buddy Ray was one of these rare friends that I could call upon to help me at any time of the day or night. Just ask and he was there. The family called him the Mule because, and Joy was part of this, because anytime someone needed something, mostly Joy, he would run to the storage unit to find it. He must have taken every item in and out of that storage unit over 100 times, renting trucks, each time making it the most expensive storage unit in history. His other nickname, known by many, was, again, Mr. Gadget. For Ray had a gadget for everything, from table wedges to lasers. It was many a trip to Asia that my buddy Ray would bring me back a shower brush, plastic toothpick, or a baggage tag with my name on it. None of these things did you really need, but you sure looked forward to get them when he returned. He thought of everyone and had a smile about everything. Ray had the patience of Job. Let me tell you. The nerves of steel, which is what he needed to drive with Joy in the car. When Joy's yelling, "Stop! Brakes! Red lights!" He would look at when I was in the car with him, we'd both look at each other and use the international sign of a plane taking off to indicate